Hello YouTube, I'm Michael Morgan. This is Retro Reviews. Thanks for joining me today. Today I'm going to be reviewing The Legend of Johnny Cash, a 21 track CD that spans the entire 5 decade career of the Man in Black. Before I get into review, as always, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, hit the like button on this video, and share this video. Now for any fan of country music, Johnny Cash is a legendary figure of country music. His career spanned nearly 50 years. He charted over 100 songs. He is one of 16 artists who are in both the country music and rock and roll halls of fame. And of course, there was a resurgence of Johnny Cash's music back in the early 2000s when his life story was told on screen in the award-winning film Walk the Line, which is a great film. I'd encourage you to check that out at some point. But let's going back to the CD, The Legend of Johnny Cash. As a CD, it does a great job of trying to span Cash's entire career from his time with Sun Records in the '50s on up to his work with Rick Rubin in American Recordings in the '90s on up to his death in 2003. And this CD starts off with the song "Cry, Cry, Cry," which is just that instant Cash sound of bong, 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 bong. That is just that Johnny Cash style. That song establishes it right there. You have it. Then that's followed up with "Hey Porter," Folsom Prison Blues. Which I would argue is Cash's signature song. It's like "I Walk the Line," "Get Rhythm." And probably one of my favorite tracks on this album. It would be hard for me to to pick out my favorite track, but definitely one of my favorites is "Big River." It's just a song about a man pursuing a lost love up and down the Mississippi River. And of course, there's a song, I guess things happen that way. You have the track "A Ring of Fire," which was co-written by Cash's second wife, June Carter Cash. That was with her and Myrtle Kilgore, which was a tremendous hit for Cash in the '60s. And also Johnny Cash and June Carter Cash. They recorded many duets, many duets together in their time. And the one that is highlighted on this CD is "Jackson," which is just a great track because not only were Johnny and June married, but the song has that bickering married couple quality to it, which just really adds to the song. And also there's a couple of Johnny Cash's novelty songs on the CD as well, which one of course is the famous "A Boy Named Sue," which this particular track is taken from his recording at I believe his concert from at live at Folsom Prison. You have, and there's also the song One Piece at a Time," which was a hit for Cash in the '70s. Is about a man trying to who's working for General Motors. And over time, he tries to take the parts and build himself his own Cadillac, and just the foils that come with that situation. There's also Cash sings Kris Kristofferson's "Sunday Morning Coming Down," which is a great song, and there's just a great story behind that song as well. As Kris Kristofferson was trying to break into the country music songwriting business in the '60s and '70s, and he at the time was working as a janitor at Cash's record at Cash's record company, and he kept trying to approach Johnny Cash about this song that he has this demo he wanted them to hear. And so finally, the story goes, Kris Kristofferson's boss told him, "Next time you bother Johnny Cash, you're fired." And then one day, this helicopter shows up at Johnny Cash's home, and Kris Kristofferson walks out of the helicopter, puts a demo tape in Cash's pocket, and that is a song for "Sunday Morning Coming Down." And then, of course, you have this song "Man in Black" is on this album, which which highlights Cash's activism, political activism as well. If you have a Netflix, there's a great documentary on there about this called "When Tricky Dick Met the Man in Black," which was when Richard Nixon invited Johnny Cash to perform at the White House, and then Cash and Nixon were on opposite sides of the political spectrum. It's just a great documentary. I encourage you to check that out and just listen to the song of the Man in Black. It's a song about a man that takes up, he takes up the cause of the everyday person. And also there's a song, the Highwayman, that Cash performed with what would be considered a country music super group in the '80s. It was Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson, Chris Christopherson, and Waylon Jennings. Could you just imagine having the opportunity to see those four men in concert? And then after the Highwaymen, then the CD shifts to Cash's work with Rick Rubin and American Recordings, where Cash received some very high praise and great critical reviews for his music then. And then you have his you have his work with U2 in the song of the Wanderer. You have that, and then just of course as Cash aged, of course his voice took on a different sound, and it just really in some songs it just kind of comes out as a very haunting quality to it, and that is definitely highlighted in the songs "Duty Is Gone," and also "The Man Comes Around," "Give My Love to Rose." Just that tenor of Cash's voice just really comes out in those songs. And then of course there's a Cash's cover of "I've Been Everywhere." That's a great song as well. And also, besides being a great songwriter and singer, Cash was also a great interpreter of songs, and two songs that he really interprets to make it a Johnny Cash song is a Cash. He covered Soundgarden's "Rusty Cage," in which, if you ever heard the Soundgarden version and Cash's version side by side, it's two completely, of course, different styles of music, two different two different styles of singing, but Cash really does a good job of making that song his own. And as also he did with the last track on the album, which was the last song that Cash put out before he passed away, was the song "Hurt," which was originally recorded by a Nine Inch Nails. In which a singer of Nine Inch Nails, Trent Reznor, this was a song about his struggles with addiction, and which was something that Cash was all too familiar with as well, as Cash did have his struggle with addiction issues. Too, and it also just has this, has this quality of Cash at this point being in his late 60s, early 70s. It's just a man looking back over his life, and it just sees, some of it dealing with regret, which is, I think, is something that everybody, everybody deals with at some point in their life. And you look over your life choices, and you just ask, and it just really. It just really hits home in a lot of ways for a lot of people, and to me that's the ultimate legacy of Cash's music. Was just people from a span of 50 years. And to me, Cash just had just such a unique style, not only with his voice but with the sound. And if you're a Johnny Cash fan, if maybe you're not familiar with Johnny Cash, I recommend that you get your hands on a copy of The Legend of Johnny Cash. And I thank you for joining me today, and may God bless you.